Hi everyone, my name is Sian Count and I'm the Head of Faculty for Service Industries at Abingdon Witney College. And we've come together as a team today just to give you a bit of an insight as to what it's like working with the Stafford Education Academy. We've been working with Lee for the last 5 years and we're about to enter into another 3 years. And what we'd like to do as a team is to come together and give you an insight as to what our journey has been like. And I'll take you right back to 5 years ago when we started and why we actually started with Lee. We were at a stage where we were split across 2 different campuses, one at Abingdon and one at Witney. And the 2 teams were teaching 2 separate things. And so I was getting students complaining to me, saying, Sian, I'm getting really confused because one tutor's teaching me one thing, one tutor's teaching the other. And it started to affect the morale of the team and the motivation and enthusiasm of the students. So we were introduced to Lee at an AOC conference and decided that this was the direction that we would take. And I have to say, and I'll sum up at the end what a difference that's made to us as an organisation and college. And what I'd like to do now is introduce you to my fantastic team that I've got sitting here today, who've come together to tell you what that journey has been like. So I'm going to start off with Alicia and Ellie, who were with us right from the start. So they were members of staff who started off with us. They are now master trainers and have worked closely training other trainees at other colleges and working closely with the staffs. And so they're going to give you an insight into what that's been like for them. So I'll hand you over now to Alicia Renee.
Hi, I'm Alicia.
Hi, I'm Ellie, and we're going to be talking about the standardisation leading on from what Sian has spoken about and the enjoyment we had from our VADA.
So we did 3 weeks, didn't we, of the VADA, which is the Lee Stafford team come in to train us, and it was 3 weeks that seemed to go in one day because it was so much fun.
Yeah, they did make it really fun. It wasn't what I expected, but in a good way.
Yeah, yes, and we learnt lots from it, and me and Ellie had the opportunity to help the team in other colleges, which was good.
Yeah, we also, at the end of we had to submit videos, which they class as your Big Tens, in the lead up to becoming master trainers. And then we were really lucky that here at college we had a sort of gathered celebration, which wasn't necessarily about us, it was a student celebration that we genuinely hold, and we were surprised with our big certificates and golden scissors.
Yes.
So
it was very nice.
It was very, very fun.
So you 2 are now master trainers.
Yes.
So that has involved you going to other colleges.
Yeah.
And
so
also about the staff here as well. How has that helped you with the staff here as well, new members of staff?
Well, because we've got our Big Tens in all the recipes, it means that we know the recipes as good as Lee, which I think we do. No, we do. So it's nice because then if new team members do join, we've got the confidence to help them with the recipes, so students don't get confused because it's all taught exactly the same.
Yeah, and so they don't miss out, because obviously we had that 3-week opportunity to get all the training, so it just means that new staff members coming in don't miss out, because myself and Alicia can facilitate that and teach them just as well as what the staffs did for us. So,
but the staffs do come in though. If the staffs are needed, they can come in. But it's just nice to have, say if Leanne was stuck on something, not that you are, but she could say, Alicia, how do you do that? And then I can just give her the answer there and then, rather than waiting for a staff to come in. So it's been quite handy.
And you 2 have been involved as well when we've been having employer events. You 2 have been involved. You got up on stage with Lee and everything.
Yeah, so we both assisted Lee on stage with styling recipes.
yeah,
I think
it was just styling. So you did
vintage.
Oh, vintage, and I did a twisted tongue,
Yeah.
I think. That was a little bit out my comfort zone, but I am quite glad I did it. And yeah, it's just new and exciting, and yeah, it just makes coming to work a little bit more exciting, I think. So yeah, I enjoy it.
Yes. Awesome.
thanks ladies. And now I'd like to introduce you to Jackie Chatterton and Leanne Hughes. Leanne is one of our lecturers and Jackie is our work experience coordinator. Jackie also does some teaching for us as well. And so Jackie is going to give us a little bit of an insight into what it's been like working with employers and what difference the Lee Stafford Education Academy has made to us then. And also, Jackie and Leanne worked very closely with Jane throughout COVID, Jane being one of Lee's staffs, throughout COVID to ensure that the practical skills of our students were maintained, delivering masterclasses to the students during COVID.
My name's Jackie Chatterton and I'm one of the tutors at the college and I'm mainly based for work-based learning in hairdressing.
And I'm Leanne and I'm a lecturer at both campuses across Abingdon and Witney.
With Lee Stafford Education, we really found that it really helped us during lockdown with online learning. The standardisation of all the recipes really helped our learners to sort of learn the new cuts sort of really remotely, which we found sort of it was amazing, didn't we really?
Yeah, previous to lockdown we'd done quite a lot of online learning because students weren't in college full time. So most of the theory delivery had already been done. So as we moved on to practical and went into a nationwide lockdown, Jane really helped us, didn't she?
Yes. Jane is one of the creative artistic directors for Lee Stafford Education and her role is to support the college and the trainers and the students. And she maintains that we are working to the right standards and we are following the recipes as Lee Stafford would like them to be, and that's always achieving a Big 10. So you know when you've completed the recipe and you're doing it to the required standard, you actually are awarded a Big 10 in that recipe. The aim is that all trainers will end up having Big 10s in all of the recipes, and then we install that to all our students so their standard by the time they finish their qualification is at a higher standard than just having the basic qualification. I think having the standardisation of the recipes meant that we could all deliver to the same standard across the board, so they learnt a one length above cut, a graduated bob and a short graduation cut.
These are the cuts the students are always most nervous about as well, the short cuts. And Jane also, so she helped us deliver those to the students and supported us within the lessons online. And she also delivered them an industry relatable online lesson, which they all really engaged with and enjoyed.
Yeah. I think from this focus we noticed that they really sort of took on board with the Lee Stafford Education. So one of the sessions, Jane actually introduced the competition work that Lee Stafford do, and the students were really sort of engaged with that and really were interested and enthused about what the session was about. And I think from that we actually gained loads of students wanting to enter the Lee Stafford Education competition. The competition was a photo shoot competition which they had to create their own look and take photographs of that and send it into Lee Stafford Education. The competition was judged by Lee Stafford and his team, and from that we had amazing success and we ended up achieving a first and a second in the level 2 cut and blow dry competition. Also one of our students won Student of the Year, and we ended up actually winning College of the Year, which was again an amazing achievement. So I really do feel the Lee Stafford Education approach that we delivered during online learning and during, say, the COVID times really inspired them and gave us great results with the competition work.
Yeah, and the first place head was actually a shortcut, wasn't it, that they learnt online. So it just shows that they actually really listened online, they did the practical work, they were supported really well because it won first in the competition entry.
Yeah. And also with the colouring as well, so we gave them extra tasks to do colouring exercises at home, and they really helped to incorporate that into their styles. So we really felt that even though we'd had 3 months where they were purely working from their own lounges and kitchens, we don't feel that actually hindered their learning in any way. And when they actually came back into college, I felt their skills were at a really good standard, and their confidence was amazing, really. And they literally came back into college and they sort of hit the floor running. I mean, they really worked well. So I just felt with having this standardisation approach really helped us with that.
Jackie, you were involved at the beginning as well when we had the big employer event at the beginning.
Yes.
And how did that go with employers at the beginning?
Yes, it really promoted the college into the community. I don't feel I found myself that probably Abingdon and Witney College wasn't as well known for hairdressing, although really by inviting all the employers in and they could see our facilities and see what we were doing, and seeing members of staff up on stage and Lee explaining all about the standardised training programme, it really helped promote the hairdressing department within the local community.
And finally, I'm handing you over now to Nikki Samuels, who's the curriculum manager for this fantastic team.
Hi, I'm Nikki Samuels. I'm the curriculum manager for Hair and Beauty, and I was fairly new to this role when we took on Lee Stafford Education. And for me, the team of hairdressers we had were great individuals, but they were very much individuals. And what's happened by bringing Lee Stafford Education on board is they've become a real strong team with a really standardised team approach. And they all took part in a 3-week VADA, which I think was a fun learning experience for them, and they really got to know each other properly. They got to see how each other worked better, and they all learned the same skills from Lee and his team and just had a really brilliant learning experience. They've taken that out into their classrooms. Their learners are now picking up on their new skills, their confidence, and the fact that every teacher teaching on a course has the same approach, and so there's never any ambiguity, never any complaints. It's just a really smooth running process. As we have employed new members of staff over the 5 years that we've been with Lee, the support is still in place for them as well, and so even though they don't take part in a 2 or 3 week VADA as such, they do have ongoing training from Jane, from the rest of the team, and their skills are brought up to scratch, and they're taking their Big Tens just the same as the original team of staff did, and building their skills in the same way.
Well, I'm sure you'd all agree, listening to these fantastic stories for the team, you can see what a difference being with Lee Stafford has made to us as an organisation. And coming to the end of our 5 years, I'd like to add a little bit more onto the end of that by saying, at the start, we were a very dysfunctional group. Teachers teaching different things, students weren't very motivated, staff were rather flat. At the end of the 5 years, what's happened is a complete transformation. The staff are now creating their own masterclasses with the students. They're really creative, very vibrant, very motivated, and it's really promoted a team ethos to the staff. That's disseminated onto our students. Now competition work is part of their weekly routine, and that's culminated this year into us in the Lee Stafford Awards at London, which we did online this year. We came first and second. We went all over Student of the Year, and fantastically, we went all over College of the Year, which has been my dream for the last 5 years. And this is all down to this fantastic team, and Lee's fantastic team as well. And so we are now really looking forward to the next 3 years and the start of a new journey with Lee and his team, focusing very much on our level 3 skills and promoting that excellence and drive at level 3 standards. So from all of us here in Abingdon and Witney College, we would just like to say thank you very much to Lee and all his team for the last 5 years, and how much we're looking forward to the next 3 years of our journey.